All your favorite wrestling shows rolled into one. Welcome to the We Book It podcast. Let's start the show.
Probably helps if I unmute the mic, right, so you guys can actually hear me. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Who's Next in NXT. Appreciate you guys so much for tuning in to this episode. Like I said, as Who's Next with NXT, I am your host, Virgil, here to give you all the updated things as we get closer and closer to none other than the Great American Bash, the next PLE for, well, ain't even the PLE, it's just coming on CW. But anyways, it's the next event that's going to happen for NXT. And yeah, man, it's going to be a doozy. I really think it's going to be great. So NXT this week started with a recap of Nakura and Kendall Gray's #1 contender victories, also as well as Zarya capturing the Women's North American Championship. Corey Graves joined Vic Joseph on commentary for the show instead of the usual Booker T. Zarya talked. She came out to the ring first, and she began talking about escaping Sol Ruka's shadow, causing a brief "You deserve it" chant, which she shut down by telling the crowd that they never believed in her. Typical heel stuff there. You know, I'm not surprised by that. But Kehlani Jordan interrupted her to mock Zarya and give her advice. She warned her that the crowd would abandon her and she might never get another championship opportunity once she lost this title. Heralded with an exasperated scream from Jordan, Kendall Gray continued the NXT Women's Division promo interruptions to mock Lani. Then Lola Vice quickly arrived as well to talk down about everyone in the ring. Robert Stone would then come out and say that there was going to be a tag team match player tonight, though Vice stole his thunder by stating the obvious conclusion. According to Stone, he said this is what makes NXT the best women's division in wrestling. I don't know about all that. A lot of times with these promos that they give with the women, I think they still struggle to kind of find themselves. I think Zarya came out and gave a strong promo. I've never been a fan of all of the interruptions that happen in NXT while these kids are still working on their promos. It's annoying to me, and it causes sometimes us to lose focus on what the point that they're trying to get across. Now, I agree Zarya should have probably been interrupted by somebody, but I just think that it was not the right time or the right opportunity. They should have given her the opportunity to gloat. Obviously, she is the brand new champ. This is her first time coming out with the belt. And like I said, you just wanted to make her look strong. Let her shove it back in everybody's face. Everybody that said that she could never do it. Everybody that said that she was nowhere the talent that Sol Ruka is and that she would never be able to escape Sol's shadow. This was her opportunity to talk her trash back to all of them. And I feel like we kind of missed a little bit of that in this. They should have given her the moment, let her soak up the moment, but that's neither here nor there. Next up, we got the #1 contenders match for the North American Championship. It's Jackson Drake versus Tavion Heights. Drake arrived with the full force of the Vanity Project, Brad Baylor, Ricky Smokes, and Micah Lockwood. Tavion Heights caught Drake immediately and threw him around with technical precision. Miles Bourne watched the action backstage. The distractions of Smokes and Baylor allowed Drake to make the comeback, kneeing Heights off the ring. Over a hurting Heights, the Vanity Project posed together as NXT went to commercial break. And then we returned to the ring and in-ring action. Tavion Heights took back over, dominating Drake with his strength. NXT showed Jaida Parker preparing herself backstage for her match with Natalya later. Drake finally caught Heights to turn the tide with a perfectly executed handspring cutter, then dived onto his opponent on the floor. The Vanity Project leader headed to the top rope where he was caught with a superplex and diving splash for a near fall. Miles Bourne took out Brad Baylor and Ricky Smokes when Michael Lockwood distracted the referee. This allowed Heights to lay out Drake with a Heights bomb for the victory. So Tavion Heights will be going up against Miles Bourne at the Great American Bash for the North American Championship. A good match all the way around. Like I said, a good match. Again, anytime that you're doing anything with the Vanity Project, they're going to, there's going to be interference and stuff like that. That's just how they're booked. But at the same time, I still thought it was a good match, and I'm happy to see Tavion Heights be able to overcome all of those obstacles instead of getting babyface syndrome and getting cheated out of his shot at the North American Championship. No doubt, whoever takes that North American Championship from Miles Bourne's next stop is going to be going after that NXT Championship. So, like I said, I don't suspect his reign will last too much longer. I do believe he'll end up losing that belt because he'll have bigger fish to fry, in the words of Stone Cold Steve Austin, when he was giving up the Intercontinental Championship and going after the World Wrestling Federation title. So yeah, I mean, we'll just have to see what happens. Next up, Hank Walker and Tank Ledger stand up to the Birthright. So in a video from last week, Hank Walker and Tank Ledger spoke with Matt Matthews and Aaron Rourke in Robert Stone's office. Birthright arrived to mock Matthews and Rourke, questioning why a celebrity was taking up time from the future of the business. Lexis King talked about his men's speed championship and guaranteed Ariana Grace's women's speed championship victory to come. Hank and Tank agreed to give Birthright a blue-collar beatdown if they kept running their mouths, seemingly setting up the match. So, of course, we're going to see that match eventually. Next up, we had Izzy Dame versus Thea Hale. So Thea Hale struggled to chug an energy drink ahead of her speed match, while Izzy Dame arrived with confidence and the culling behind her. Hale went after the left arm of Dame right away, trying to set up the Kimura lock, but Dame relied on the ropes to protect her. Corey Graves and Vic Joseph debated over whether Hale was on the right track throughout the contest. Just as the clock went under 1 minute, Dame ducked a springboard senton and sealed the victory with a running knee. So Izzy Dame will get a shot at the Women's Speed Championship. So Sean Spears was the most pleased of anyone that Dame won, mockingly clapping at a fallen Hale. Afterward, backstage, Ren Sinclair and Kendall Gray talked about who was coming for her Speed Women's Championship. Lola Vice then arrived to warn Gray to focus on making sure they won their tag match later. All in all, a good match. I think Thea Hale is super young, and I think that's one thing that we forget about her. But she is the future of WWE. I do think so. I really believe that. Next up, Tony D is going to sign the contract after a private meeting with Naruku. So, Tony D'Angelo met Naruku at a private location where the number one contender played nice to start. The NXT champion called out Naruku's evil past and the House of Torture crew backing him up. The music started to grow louder and more dramatic as D'Angelo made clear he was not going to fall for Naruku's good guy act. While D'Angelo signed the contract for his match with Naruku, the number one contender waited to sign the contract, promising to do so next week. Naruku's final message, evil is coming. The question lingers, what will Naruku do to get the NXT championship? Very, very interested in that match. That is going to be your main event, and I'm very excited to see exactly how that pans out because I think that is going to be a really good match. So, next up, we have Keanu Carver being interrupted by Robert Stone in his office and questioned who the general manager had for him to fight. A.K. Prosper then arrived to make clear he was Carver's opponent for next week, promising to humble him. Carver questioned if Prosper was truly at his level since he wanted to go after the NXT championship. So, yeah, I'm excited. I think Keanu Carver has a lot to give this business, and he is somebody that I've been watching for. And I wish Coach would catch him on who to watch for in wrestling because I do think he has a lot of talent and brings a lot to the table. Next up is the match of the night by far, Natty versus Jaida Parker. So Jaida Parker made her entrance before the commercial break to a loud Miss Parker chant. You know she loves that. Natty spoke with Nikita Lyons and Carmen Petrovic backstage. The low-key legend started slow, mocking Miss Parker, causing Jada to slap Natty in the face. Corey Graves made a Matrix reference to talk about how far ahead Natty could see in the wrestling, while Vic Joseph made the hot tub time machine reference in response. Jaida Parker locked in the rings of Saturn submission, almost forcing the tap out, but the low-key legend made it to the ropes. Now, that's one thing you're not going to do. You're not going to tap out somebody that comes from the dungeon, especially a submission specialist such as Natalya. The slaps continued to flow, and Natty kept telling Miss Parker to hit her harder. The two fought to the floor as the match went into picture-in-picture. And then Natty and Jada brawled through the picture-in-picture break, exchanging abdominal stretches to push for submission. While the face-heel dynamic was unclear in the build to this match, the low-key legend was full heel in this contest, mocking the crowd and bullying Vic Joseph. This was helped by the crowd's universal support of Miss Parker, who continued to show her grit and toughness throughout the fight. Jada locked in a crossface and kept holding on after Natty got to the ropes, utilizing the 5 count to do more damage. The low-key legend focused on the knee of Miss Parker while continuing her disrespect with more slaps. Jada fired with the strike and a teardrop, followed by a hypnotic for a near fall. Miss Parker fought off the sharpshooter, then sent Natty to the floor with another hypnotic. The low-key legend sent Jada repeatedly knee first into the steel steps, then follow up with the Brody and sharpshooter to force the submission. Afterward, the low-key legend kept the submission locked in until the referee forced her off. So, of course, we got heel Natalya here. Heel Natty. Natty Neidhart is who this is, not necessarily Natalya. But anyways, she did her part. And like I said, we want to see an edgier version of Miss Parker. This is the last final test, I believe, before she is going to be going to oh Lord. I believe before she is going to be. Hello, sir.
Hello. You know, I don't know who to blame. I don't know if it's Shawn Michaels for booking his bullshit. I don't know if it's Natty for once again choosing to interject herself in shit she ain't got no business interjecting herself in. Or blaming you because yet again, you on this hate train against Jaida Parker and this love fest you got with motherfucking Natty. And then whenever anything happens with Jada that's negative, you got to put that shit in the chat or send it to me because you know how I feel about Jada and you know it's going to piss me off.
Okay, that's fair. What I would venture to say in return to that as a response is one, numero uno, Natty is doing Jada a huge favor. Sure, Natty won the match tonight. Is Natty going to win the war, though? No. I mean, you both know Jaida Parker is going to win the war. Natty is not an NXT.
Because we thought she was going to win the war against Lola Vice. It didn't happen. We thought she was going to win the war against Blake Monroe. It didn't happen. It seemed like the only person she can win a war against apparently is Kalani Jordan. And we can't really call that a war.
Right.
And then on top of that, you got the newbie come in from Evolve, and she beats Jada. And don't get me wrong, Callie Armstrong, she next up, but I'm just like, bruh, like
Jada,
how much more does Jada gotta go through, bro? Like she should have been on the main roster by now, bro.
Yeah. Like I don't like her promos. I don't like her promos.
Dude, you got people that got called up that's been there less time than her. They got called up to the main roster already.
Because they was ready or they were with Trick Williams. I mean, listen, hear me out. This is, do I believe Jaida Parker could be box office? And do I believe that she could have a big, huge fan base? Absolutely, to both of those. Do I think that she's ready to go to the main roster? I don't. And that's just me being honest with you. That's no hate towards Jaida Parker. I think Jaida Parker would get lost in the shuffle, saying that's happened with Jordan Grace right now. And I don't want to see that happen to her. I don't want her to be somebody in catering. I don't want to see her be somebody that is not underutilized or, or not booked the right way. I mean, she needs to climb her way through NXT and really, really earn it.
But dude, look at the ones that's on the main roster right now that's being underutilized, man. Like this shit with
like
Julia and that, and then you got the shit with Julia and Kiana James.
Yeah,
like
both of them should still be in NXT.
Like there's people that got called up that shouldn't have gotten called up, yet Jada's still there.
I agree. I agree. I'm listen, you are preaching to the choir, brother. I'm not arguing anything that you're saying. All I'm saying is, I do like to troll you whenever Jaida Parker loses, because that is funny.
Yeah, I know.
But in all seriousness, Jaida Parker's not ready, bro. I don't think she's ready, and getting with Jey Uso ain't gonna make her any more ready. You just had to bring that shit up, man. Like I was doing good, not even thinking about that, sir. I've gotten past it, and now you just had to bring it back up. Okay, my bad, man. I'm sore subject. Okay. Anyways, but yeah, like I said, I still think she has some work to do. But dude, they had the match of the night, and like I said, and I see this leading towards you getting more of an edge from Jaida Parker, which is something I think that she needs. Because to be honest with you, dude, she's too pretty. Like she's too pretty to be taken serious as a serious fighter or a serious threat, and but her character doesn't lend to her to being like a shit-eating heel either. Like how Chelsea Green is a great heel because she'll do dastardly things, she'll do anything to win. Same with Blake Monroe. Like they're going to be an amazing tag team. They're basically going to be Iconics 2.0 once she comes to the main roster to help. When she debuts on the main roster to start helping Chelsea Green. Like
I took Jaida seriously when she was with the what was the group she was with back in the day on NXT?
God, I forgot the name of that group. It wasn't Hit Row. It was
but she was with them, and that's when that was my first that was my first introduction to her, and like she joined the group to help give them some toughness on the women's side, and I was like, okay, I'm all right. She was out here walking around with bats and shit like that and kicking ass. That's when the parking lot was like super dangerous. And everybody was getting into it every week in the parking lot.
She did a couple of what was those matches? The like where they would remove the ropes and stuff like that and like
the underground.
Yeah, she did a couple NXT underground matches, and she had strong showings in those too. Like she taped her fist up and stuff, and she looked.
I think Faith, she's not a great like face. Like I think she works better as a heel, and I think with this face run she's recently had, I think that's kind of played a part too. Because I feel like I guess some people wouldn't even call her face because like I would say she's more so a twinner. She just like to kick ass, talk shit. So like I think like for the most part, but I think she needs to get a little bit more, like you said, she needs an edge. She needs to get back to that ruthlessness she used to have when she was going against Lola Vice as the heel. Like I think she gets back to that and really like amps it up a little bit, then we can get somewhere. So that's why I said that's the only reason I was cool with Natty actually doing this. I didn't think she would get the victory first. I thought she'd lose first, then lose the second time around. And then lose the rubber match, but making her tap out, I wasn't too cool with that though.
It makes sense though, because Natty's whole point and the whole reason it started was Natty calling her soft. So this is all to get an edge for Jaida Parker. This is all to create a new version of her. So like she's gonna have to really go dig deep to find that MMA background, to really find, that the stuff that she needs to have to be able to beat Natty. And from what Natty gives her, she will either excel and go and be the one to beat Zarya for that Women's North American Championship, or win the NXT Women's Championship. I mean, and then from there, once Shawn Michaels has put that type of faith in her, then you will see Triple H start to take notice. And I think that's also why Shawn Michaels books some of these women the way that he does, because he wants them to stay in NXT longer. Because if you give them titles, then TKO starts paying attention to that stuff now, and they want to get younger. And I know she wants to be on the main roster and probably go to Raw with Jay and everything like that. But like I said, I mean, it's best right now that she stay in NXT, hone her talent, hone her skills, and just continue to grow there.
Yeah, I can see it. Because like I don't want her to end up on the main roster too early, and not get used, and then have to pretty much job to Charlotte and all them. Yeah, so I think I don't know, man. I wouldn't mind if she did some shit in Triple A. To be honest with you, like let Taker get a hold of her and really unlock some shit. Like I would not mind seeing her in Triple A and feuding with them over there. I don't know how she would handle with the language barrier and stuff like that, but
they can work past all of that,
Yeah, but I think if Taker can get a hold of her, I think that'll be helpful too. So
yeah,
we'll see though.
But Jay not gonna let her go down there. Sorry.
I don't give a fuck what Jay wants.
He man not gonna be down there. You know what I'm saying? He's in the main storylines right now, and he's trying to win King of the Ring. So his woman got to be there for him.
He's not winning that shit. Javon Evans, he gonna win that shit, and eventually, I wouldn't be surprised he joined the Vision. He win King of the Ring and then join the Vision and be like the Randy Orton of the group, and really take off, because I think he needs a boost, because I don't think he's gonna really take off with his current gimmick. I think he's gonna need a boost to really put him over the top, especially if you have him going against Oba at some point down the line, because I do want to see that rivalry renewed. Sure, they have some killer matches, man. So I definitely want to see that again down the road. So, but he gonna have to change up the gimmick at some point.
He reminds me of Dom Mysterio when he first came into WWE, when he was wrestling with his father. And I mean that in a sense of just white meat baby face. Everybody likes him. I think he's likable, but he has another level that he could go to if he really so chooses to, and that next level could literally take him, skyrocket him into that atmosphere that Dom Mysterio was in now. Being AAA Mega Champion. Dom is like a 3-time Intercontinental Champion. He's a 2 or 3-time Intercontinental Champion. And probably going to either if he don't win King of the Ring, I still think they're gonna give Dom Mysterio that Money in the Bank briefcase. I don't know why. I just have this sneaky feeling that they're going to do that for him, because I don't see anybody else that makes sense outside of maybe Braun Breaker, because I think Obafemi is going to win King of the Ring. But then again, that don't make sense, because if Obafemi wins King of the Ring, then who's going to fight Brock at SummerSlam? So unless you do Oba fight 2 nights in a row, fight
which is capable of doing.
Fight Brock night 1 and then turn around and fight for the
all that's right, because it was 2 nights now. So they could it could happen.
Fight Brock night 1.
I did not think about that. The 2 nights. He can definitely have do King of the Ring and fight Brock.
Right.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. But back to this NXT love, though. We got next up, we got Mason Rook and Lizzie Rain commiserated over their early losses in NXT, only to be interrupted by Tristan Angels. He mocked Shiloh Hill and told Men's Evolve champion Aaron Rourke that he was the real Mr. NXT, since Hill was not medically cleared to represent the company. He demanded a title shot against Rourke, and the champion seemed ready to accept that challenge, saying that he knew Angels measured up short. Yeah, so just a little backstage statement right there between those guys. Like I said, they want this in the Mr. NXT championship on the title of Mr. NXT. And I like that the men's Evolve championship is also being defended. Like I said, is one of those things where I think it just makes good sense to have that men's Evolve championship. And also, I've said it before, if everybody has access to Tubi is free. There is wrestling on Tubi. Evolve has a signed deal partnership with Tubi. Guys, I'm telling you, if you want to see the people that are going to be next up on your screens in NXT, all you got to do is go to Tubi and watch Evolve. Evolve would be the AA version. If we're talking baseball reference, Evolve is the AA version. Obviously, NXT is AAA, and then obviously WWE is the big league, the majors. So, like I said, I mean, they have a whole system here, but a lot of these guys, I mean, you get a lot of shitty promos. I ain't gonna lie to you in Evolve, but the wrestling is good. A lot of the wrestling is good because a lot of wrestling stuff they have down is just working on promos and ironing that stuff out so you can get to the next level on NXT. So, any thoughts on Tristan Angels and him wanting that men's Evolve championship?
No, I mean, I've been kind of out of the loop with a lot of the other stuff. I usually watch the highlights and stuff. I haven't got into everything yet from the night. But just seeing this new, infusion of talent, from Evolve and from other indie promotions and stuff like that has been pretty cool. Like this work kick, man. Like it's like a breath of fresh air, man. Because seeing a guy like his size like move around the way that he does, shit, probably ain't seen nothing like that since Vader. I know we got the Kevin Owens of the world, but Kevin Owens is not really that big of a guy, especially not now. He lost a lot of the weight from his ROH days, but yeah, seeing his work kid, man, is definitely breath of fresh air. So I think, this among the other talent that they got in, the EO Sky's husband, I forgot his name, but
Naraku.
Yeah. So a lot of these guys, and you got AAA in the mix as well. What they got going on over there, seeing a lot of them pop up on NXT from time to time. So professional wrestling is probably as best as it's ever been. Just in terms of WWE, like, just so many opportunities for like storylines. Everything is we're not getting the same old BS, like we used to. Because at least at different points of the year, we're getting somebody called up, you're getting new talent being introduced. So like it's a good thing to see. We're not seeing no mainstays. Part-timers aren't dominating as much. It's one thing to be Roman and Roman, Brock, and CM Punk, those are outliers, but for the most part, you got a lot of new talent. And some of the guys that's been full-time for a hot minute, still doing their thing. So it's great to see.
Absolutely. And like I said, this influx of new talent just mixing in and meshing in with that is going to make it even better. We're excited for the new feuds and the new fights that we're going to see. All right, so next up we got Saquon Sugars, who is ready for his fight against his former team, Dark State. So after confirming Deion Lennox versus Saquon Sugars for the Great American Bash, NXT Chronicle highlighted Sugars' history. Sugars talked about his tough upbringing in Washington, D.C., refusing to give up no matter what hurdles he faced. He explained that Dark State needed him more than he ever needed Dark State due to his wrestling experience. Sugars promised to make an example out of Lennox, even if it meant going back to a dark place. Lennox watched the Chronicle and promised to deliver the pain at Great American Bash. So Deion Lennox versus Saquon Sugars, two powerhouses that are going to go at it at the Great American Bash. Any thoughts on those two and their match?
That's probably one of the most intriguing like matchups and storylines to look at. Honestly, I've been kind of keeping tabs on that whole thing. My first thought, like when they turned on him, I was like, man, this feels like when Booker T got kicked out of NWO.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
I'm like, the only difference is like Saquon Sugars, he actually was a respectable, part of the team.
Yeah.
And so he didn't feel like an outcast, so but like I was like, man, this is gonna be big time because I know they had been wreaking havoc for a minute, and it was almost kind of like the Shield in a way, with how close of a brotherhood they were, and even with Undisputed Era during their time, and when Adam Cole, blew that whole thing up, and so then you got this case with Deion Lennox, pretty much being the main guy, and orchestrating this whole thing. So, I'm definitely looking forward to that. I'm gonna check in. Is Great American Bash this weekend?
Great American Bash is next weekend.
Next weekend. Okay.
Yep.
Also, the same weekend as Night of Champions, or
yes, if I'm not mistaken, I think Night of Champions might be on. Here, let me double check. Night of Champions is on June 27th. Here. Great American Bash 2026. Oh, they're gonna do it at center stage. That should be good.
Because
it's gonna it's gonna take place Sunday, June 28th, from the Performance Center in Orlando.
Oh, they're gonna do it at the Performance Center?
Yeah. Yep.
Damn.
Yeah. So
wait, hold on. Is the actual is there what they've been doing the main show at?
Yeah. A lot of their stuff. I've obviously their weekday shows are Performance Center, and then like I said, they do that, but then sometimes they'll hop on the road for a big PLE or something like that. But for the Great American Bash, they're gonna do it from the Performance Center. WWE is trying to get a little bit cheaper and whatnot. So I mean,
so it's almost kind of like how they doing with how AEW does their like fancy weekly shows. They'll have it Dynamite, but it'd be Bash at the Beach or some shit like that.
Yep.
So it's almost like that in a way. Okay.
Yep. Pretty much.
I got you.
All right. So our main event of the night: Lola Vice and Kendall Gray versus Zarya and Kaylani Jordan. Kaylani Jordan and Zarya made their entrances before the commercial break and talked strategy while awaiting Lola Vice and Kendall Gray. Vic Joseph announced Aaron York defending the men's Evolve Championship against Tristan Angels, Hank and Tank versus Birthright, and an NXT Championship double contract signing for next week. Then the match started, and Lani and Vice started with Jordan trying to catch the NXT Women's Champ with a couple pin attempts early. Kendall Gray tried to push the pace, but ran into the powerful Zarya. Vice also struggled against the Women's North American Champion. After Zarya sent Gray to the floor with power, Lani dived onto Gray and mocked her with the knee on her throat as NXT went into picture-in-picture. We come back from that, and we're into the match, and Zarya and Kaylani Jordan continue to isolate Gray through the commercial break, not allowing Lola Vice into the action until just after everything was finished with the picture-in-picture. The NXT Women's Champ ran over both heels with strong strikes on Lani. Zarya, though, blind tagged in and laid out Vice to slow the pace down again. Jordan and Vice went arm-focused submissions until the NXT Women's Champion needed a breather, giving Gray the hot tag. Gray pulled the straps down, countered an attempt at the one-of-a-kind, but was not ready for the Zarya spear. Zarya went for the F5, but Gray reversed it into an armbar. While Gray held it for a while, Zarya powered free into a sit-out powerbomb. Vice broke up the pin and ran into Jordan with pump kicks. Vice tagged herself in and fought off a sit-out powerbomb, then locked in the guillotine choke. Gray caught Jordan with an ankle lock as well. All four women battled outside, where Zarya hit Vice with a spear as she teased an F5 on the floor. Tatum Paxley distracted the Women's North American Champion from the audience. This allowed the NXT Women's Champion to hit a spinning back fist for the pin. So Lola Vice and Kendall Gray do pick up the win. Afterward, Vice and Gray nervously celebrated together while Paxley jumped on to Zarya to start a brawl. Jordan tried to steal the NXT Women's Championship, and Gray accidentally blasted Vice with the title in the scuffle. In a reversed mirror image to 2 weeks ago, the show ended with Jordan laughing as Gray tried to explain to Vice she did not mean to lay her out. And over and out. That would be the end of the show. So how do you feel about NXT ending with the women's match to end the show? And I mean, like I said, for what it's worth, it was a strong showing. You had the North American Women's Champion there, as well as the NXT Women's Champion, as well as two of the fan favorites, all wrestling in this match together.
Yeah, it's great to see. Like, you know, to me personally, I don't know if it's just me, but I honestly feel like the women's division carrying NXT right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, man, I'm glad Lola Vice, you know, finally broke through and won the championship. Same thing with Zarya. Like she's now on my list of favorites. You know, especially now that I know what she looks like without the makeup.
Yeah,
bro.
That will do it. That will absolutely do it.
But she's really talented. And you know, she went through a lot to get where she is now. So just glad she got the strap, and hopefully she gets a good lengthy run with the championship. But yeah, just, you know, these four combatants, they're among the best in the division right now. It's always good to see them main eventing in some capacity. And so we'll see how everything plays out. You know, with the women's NXT Women's Championship, as well as Zarya and Paxley for this North American Championship. So
absolutely,
yeah.
Great American Bash, man, is shaping up to be a hell of a PLE for NXT. Like I said, I don't know that we see any new champions crowned just yet. We might, I mean, in a shocker, but I feel as though all championships are going to stay put. But I'm definitely invested in the Tony D Nakura fight, and of course, I want to see Miss Parker hopefully get back at Great American Bash, challenging Natty again. Unless Natty's going to train her in the dungeon, kind of like what she did for Maxine Dupree. We just have to see what happens.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, all right, everybody. Any last words, Big Daddy C? Thank you for joining me, man. It's fun to have somebody here to talk to and bounce things off of on this episode.
Yeah, I was like, you know, I had to join in and talk. Yeah, say my piece about this damn Jaida Parker shit, man. I'm tired of her losing these major matches, man.
Yeah. Miss Parker's gonna be just fine.
Yeah, we'll see. That's all I gotta say about that. We'll see.
He ain't buying it yet, folks. He ain't buying it yet. But all right, y'all, man. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow as Coach Win is going to take you through all elite recap. Also, right after this, Big Daddy C is coming up on the channel with the Raw Dog Monday night episode here on Tuesday for you. So make sure you guys stay tuned in for that as he recaps all of Monday night's drama with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, as that show was centered around. And yeah, make sure you guys tune in and watch all our recaps here, and of course join us for the Sunday Night Stunner. From Big Daddy C, I'm Virgil. Till next time, keep those book and pencils sharp and keep on booking.